flex, your dirty flex, gal. Man try hard for your dirty flex, fight like dog for your dirty flex, full of big talk for your dirty flex, You so rude for me like no.
The all-new Spark FM.
Them no like me, I mean I like them.
Spark FM.
Come on. Sicker than your average.
Spark FM.
Yo, chick a man be ballin'. Deep chick pigeon toe. Some of them be crawling.
Spark FM.
Oh gosh, it's me again.
New England's #1 urban Caribbean music. Radio. Spark FM.
Who? Okay, here. Jeez, Louise, I go missing for 2 days. Come back and don't know how to work anything. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I would think that it was Monday, but it's not. It's Tuesday. Because yesterday was a vacaciones. And people were like, you going in? You guys going in? You guys going on? No, when y'all break, we break. God damn it. This is a democracy over here. We got families and kids and lives and wives and all kind of stuff. All right.
If the meters are free, we ain't here.
Exactly. Is that how it goes? Oh, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. All right. Because I'm like, it's so many noises in my head. Good
Loud
morning,
noises.
Vietnam. Good morning, Boston. We haven't seen you in several days. I am saddened by our time apart with each other.
Oh, man.
I am excited to be here on this grand weekend. It is school vacation week, so that means the children are home. The children are in your face. They're hungry. They are bored. They want so many things. So God bless all of you parents out there, all of you educators out there, all of you responsible adults who take care of small children. You guys are the truth, the way, and the light. So we're gonna do a quick check-in in the interest of time. Good morning, Miss Tony. How y'all doing? It's Spark FM, Saucy and Friends.
I am doing good. Life is great. Life is grand, and I love it.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was absolutely amazing.
You had some fun. Tell us about it.
I did have some fun. What did I do? The weekend seems so far away now, but I don't know. One of the best parts of my weekend, though, I did go out to this wonderful little R&B day party that occurred at Fabrica there down in Cambridge. Mm-hmm. And it was a day party, so it was from 5 to 10.
Yeah.
But we got there and we didn't really know what to expect because I just happened upon it on like going through Eventbrite or something like that. And so we were like, oh, let's go check this out. And we went and we had a time.
You guys had big plans and you didn't even make it through
We had
all your
big plans for the whole night. We was going to do a whole R&B bar crawl. And we didn't make it to the second part because we had such a delightful time at the first part. Shout out to my good friend Nicole of Not Your Average Yoga. Wow, what a time was had. I danced. And then yesterday we had a very, very nice family breakfast. I cleaned house. I hung out. I watched TV. It was just a really, really, really good weekend for me. And this week is going to be a good week. And next week's going to be an even better week. So
What's
I'm looking forward to
happening
all
this
this.
week? What's happening this coming week?
As far as stuff
things.
that's happening?
The only thing that I know is Until We Dance Again.
Yes,
the
looking forward to that.
fundraiser on Saturday the 24th by Mass Women of Color Network. We will be at the convention center from 5 to 10. So make sure that you guys get your tickets, donate. More information on our social media pages where you can just click and go find out that information.
Yeah.
What about you, Tristan?
Excuse me.
Ooh, he's trying to get his little eat on. He's eating. And then bring nobody no breakfast.
Not too much.
Not too much.
I had to DJ on
Friday.
We had 3 gigs.
Where was the first one? It was at
All
a
the
school.
School gig. funeral gig,
Oh, Father.
club gig.
The funeral looked nice, though.
Oh.
The funeral was nice.
The funeral looked nice. It was at, what you said, is that Spires?
It was at
I saw
Aspires.
some pictures of it. And then...
Spires is the place now.
Yeah, Spires has turned into the new Unity now that Unity is now Unity Plus.
Yeah, Unity was nice, you know.
Oh, yes, the Friday night Lime.
Yeah. I don't understand how people come out so late.
See, I don't know what it is about people and their lateness because I see a lot of questions and comments about the lateness of people coming to the clubs and expecting, and then want to expect all of the new music at the same
But
time.
not even that. You can't even build a vibe. Like, you come into the club late. What vibe are you building? People are expecting, because everybody's coming in at the same time, they think the party's just gonna jump off. No, that's not how it works.
Oh,
They feel like I think for me, like when I go to places at a certain time, so say a party starts at like 10 and I end up there at like 12, right? I feel like the vibe should already be built. I should just jump into the vibe. Jump
You gotta
in,
build
be
it.
ready.
The best part of the party for me is the beginning. That's the nice music. That's nice, calm,
okay, so let's
chill, you know?
let's walk through it. So we're going. Let's just say we're going to Unity. We're going to Unity. The party starts 10 to 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
What's a good time? You say early, but early there ain't nobody there. So what is a good time?
For me, I like to be in front of Unity by 11 at least. The doors open at 10 o'clock. All right, we know. Sound system still probably setting up. You know, things a little they running behind.
Okay,
All right,
okay.
cool. But I still want my car to be somewhere in the vicinity
By 11.
rolling my spliff and thing. You know what I mean? So by 11:15, 11:30,
You're walking in. Okay. No, 11:30 is cool.
Yeah.
11:30 is definitely cool. 11:30 I could do. These days, because I don't want to go anywhere, I usually get up there probably around 12:45. Because I don't want to
11:30
be
is the
there.
sweet. I like to
Yeah.
like the middle, close to the middle, but before the this part of
So
the
between 11 and 11,
yeah.
between 11:30 and 12 o'clock.
11:30 is my sweet spot. Party is from 10 to 2. I want to get there at 11:30. It's before the halfway point, like right before, half an hour before the halfway point.
So you can still build your vibe.
Yes.
All right. Okay. I could do that. I'm
But
down
you see
for
this 12:45, 1 o'clock, 1:15.
Yeah, that's New York stuff. You can do that in New York.
Because I
You
remember
can't
the
do that
first
here.
time going out to party in New York, we took a nap at like 12 o'clock.
Yep.
To wake up at like 2 to get ready for the party to get there for like 3 because it wasn't going to end at until like 6:30. That doesn't make no sense to me. That's stupid. Miss Pat on the Wilbur on. Oh yes,
Yes.
Miss Pat at the Wilbur on
On
Saturday.
Saturday,
Yep. With the interest of time, we're gonna keep it going because I do believe that we have a special guest stopping by. Our quarterly meetup with Segun Idowu from the Boston City of Economic Opportunity Department so that we can get a little update on what's been going on. I do know that the legacy nominations has been extended. So if you still want to nominate a business who has been around for about 10 years and is a staple of your community and have done, you really value them, make sure that you submit a nomination to them. You can find that information on our social media pages as well. With that said, people, let's get into the show. Saucy and Friends starts now.
You're listening to Saucy and Friends in the morning with Miss Hot Sauce, Miss Tony, and Rockstone Triz.
What is this, Doctor?
This is
Well, Spark of New England, Spark FM. Bringing the heat back to the airwaves. Turn us up. All right, let's take a look.
You're listening to Spark FM. Online.
Call Spark FM at 617-272-3387.
Yes. Is everybody ready? Everybody do a little stretching. We got to go back to stretching. Okay. And up. And down, and up, and down, and up, and down, and up, and down, and twist it out, twist it out, twist it, twist it, twist it out, and twist it up, twist it out, twist it out. This is how we're gonna start the show every day, people, with some exercise, with some floor
aerobics.
exercise. Yes. I'm gonna find a thing. We're gonna do some chair exercises. We're gonna do some stretching. We're gonna loosen up our hips in the morning.
Yes, I need to do that.
Those are the things that we're gonna do. Cause your hips, have they gotten better yet?
They're better.
All right.
My hips is not lying on Sunday night. They was trying on yesterday.
So today is Tuesday, February 20th, 2024. We've got about 9 days left of this month. It is approximately 9:22 a.m. Today is going to be plentiful sunshine. Oh, I like that. Plentiful sunshine. High 37 degrees, winds light and variable. Tonight is going to drop down to about 22 degrees.
Oh, no.
22 degrees. There's only a 1% chance of rain today or precipitation. So we don't know what that really is, what that really means. Turn that down just a tad. That's loud in my ear holes. So let's see. Investigation underway after human remains found in Saugus. We've been seeing a lot of this happening. I feel like there's a lot of finding people in rivers, finding people in dumpsters. Now we're finding human body parts. Boston, what's going on? What's happening here? What's happening? So authorities are investigating after evidence of human skeletal remains was found in Saugus Woods Sunday morning. Essex County District Attorney Paul F. Tucker and Saugus Police Chief Michael Ricciardi announced the person walking their dog called police around 10 a.m. after finding the remains in the woods off David Drive. The remains were transported to the office of the Chief Medical Examiner for determination of a cause and manner of death and for identification purposes. That would definitely be quite shocking to find, said neighborhood resident Matthew McKenzie. I've never seen anybody back there. The only thing back there is coyotes. From what I know, both apparently someone's been back there. Obviously, sir, because they found a dead body with remains. Somebody was definitely back there. While there remains an active and ongoing investigation by Massachusetts State Police detectives, stuff like this you don't really happen in David Drive. You notice that every time something crazy happened in one of these off-skeltered neighborhoods, they be like, this never happens here. It usually does happen right there. That's usually where all the most gruesome and grimy deaths
Well, maybe
happen.
happening there. Y'all just don't know about it.
Exactly. Because the people don't go back there. Nobody's going to go back there and find anything. So there's probably mad human remains back there. I believe it.
Because there might be like homeless people living back there, you know?
And by remains, whenever they say remains, I always think like it's been chopped up.
I always feel like it's decaying and just
Oh, see, I always go for the absence of limb. You're like, it could just be nasty and weltered.
Whatever remained after it.
Oh, Father, no. I would rather find an arm than a body.
Oh.
You know? Wait, would I?
I know.
I don't think you want to find.
What would you rather?
I don't want to find no body part.
But if you had to, would you rather find somebody's like an arm sitting there, or would you rather find like a full body?
I'd rather see a finger.
Yeah.
I don't like.
No, because you know, if it's a one body part, you're like, but where's the rest of them?
Yeah, but I think that it'd be like, oh, they could have survived losing a finger.
Okay, all right.
But not necessarily losing all.
But if you lost a finger, what did you find it? Put it back on.
Sometimes, what if it like that?
Oh yes.
And then you can't find it.
With a sword. It got cut off with a sword.
Yeah.
Touche. Moving on, some Brockton officials asked for National Guard at high school. So let's get into this because this has been, we've been following Brockton High School. We do also understand that Brockton High School has had a lot of controversy, misery, and strife in a while. Teachers are not there. There are fights happening. There is poor things going on. There's just a lot happening in Brockton. So we're going to just kind of follow up with this situation right now. Officials have asked Governor Maura Healey to send in the Massachusetts National Guard to stop the violence and address security concerns at a troubled high school in a city south of Boston. Some school committee members said on Monday 4 of the 7 members of the Brockton School Committee backed the National Guard request amid teacher shortages and budget deficits, but city officials weren't unanimous in their decision. Let's go to the clip right here. The governor's office acknowledged the concerns about Brockton High School.
Today, the mayor says no. NBC 10's Joanna Boris joins us live in Brockton. Joanna?
And some parents agree with the mayor. They think uniformed National Guardsmen here at the high school is too much, but they do agree something needs to be done.
There's a lot of drugs. There's a lot of fights.
Anya Reyes' grandson is a freshman at Brockton High School.
But it doesn't sound like he feels safe in the school.
Today, a majority of school committee members explained why they sent this letter to the mayor, asking Governor Maura Healey to deploy National Guardsmen to Brockton High School.
I know that the first thought that comes to mind when you hear National Guard is uniform and arms. And that's not the case. They're people like us, they're educated, they're trained, and we just need their assistance right now.
While the committee members didn't answer questions today, they mentioned using guardsmen as substitute teachers and hall monitors, not just at the high school, but across the district. A spokesperson for the governor sent NBC 10 a statement saying, "Our administration is committed to ensuring that schools are safe and supportive environments for students, educators, and staff. We are aware of concerns raised about Brockton High School and are in touch with local officials." Mayor Robert Sullivan also sent a statement saying he's been talking with the police chief, and he doesn't think such measures are appropriate. Instead, he says, "We are committed to employing a collaborative approach that involves the entire community, including parents, students, educators, and law enforcement, to tackle these challenges head on." Many people agree something needs to change, but think calling in the Guard goes too far.
If National Guards are activated here, look, watch the dropout rate. And watch that parents going to move their kids, try to get into a different school.
I mean, what she said just now?
Yeah. What is going? Is it that really crazy? Like, there's no way to control these kids.
There's no teachers. There's nothing. There's nobody in there.
Oh, so the school is amok.
Yeah,
like,
the people.
yeah,
the students are being. The school is being run by substitutes. Teachers are not coming in. The school. Remember, what did we read? Like, they're just sitting throughout in California in the cafeteria, just sitting all day and things like that, skipping classes, leaving school. Like, Brockton High School, I believe, from what I am hearing in the news, is that it's a free for all.
The inmates have taken over.
Yeah, pretty much.
What's the word? What's that phrase?
I mean, they need to break it. I think it's too many people.
Brockton High School is huge.
It's like the largest high school or something in this coast or whatever.
In Massachusetts.
So, and then the fact that they don't have any teachers, they don't have any classes, they don't have anything going on. The children are pretty much ruling themselves, and we already know that when children are left without any type of rules or regulations, that they just do whatever they want. I don't know if National Guard is the way, but
it sounds like this came out of necessity.
Yeah,
not because they wanted.
I'm not opposed to it though.
Wanda says they shouldn't have asked; they should have just did it.
Yeah,
they don't have to be uniformed, and I agree with that.
And that is the thing. That's the thing. I feel like two things can happen. National Guard can be in there and they just not be uniformed so that it looks like a prison or something like that. And these are ways to get creative around safety. And I just feel like if the National Guard ain't doing nothing and they got time, then maybe they should go on there to at least regulate the violence that's happening. Because what other things are they putting in there to try to help? What other things are they doing to try to help the situation other than saying, I don't think the National Guard should be there? Then who should be there? Then what?
I also don't think law enforcement should. What that last lady was saying, I also don't think law enforcement should be. I don't mind the National Guard. Honestly, I don't know what else they would do if they needed extra security or backup. What else they would be able to, what other kind of assistance they can get. But the fact that my bad, I'm sorry. The fact that they're not armed or whatever. Yes, they're in their outfit, but I think that's just a part of their thing. I think everything they do, they have to be in that regardless. So I'm not opposed to it.
Me either. I'm not opposed to that. I think that's something at this point it needs to be done, and it needs to be done aggressively and swiftly. I do believe that there should be provisions that you guys can't attack just the black people. Like those kind of things that we know are things that we think about when we believe that security or authority should be entered in something. Black people always first think about, but what about, the black kids who are going to be targeted? There just needs to be rules and regulations around everything. Yeah. So
and that Brockton High School has it's pretty diverse, right?
Yeah.
You can't just be concerned about a certain body of students when it comes to this. Everybody is being affected by that, but definitely. They might have to shut that down a little bit.
Larry said the National Guard ain't teaching, so then what?
The
teachers ain't really teaching them.
Nobody's
they have
teaching
a lack
them.
Of teachers right
so
now.
that's the problem. Nobody's teaching them, and I don't think that's necessarily that is a huge issue. Yeah. But the issue is that there's a lot of like bull crap going on in there.
Yeah.
Like violent and from what we heard, because we're not there, so it could just be media propaganda.
The police in the school. I think the police in the school are probably one of the worst things to do. That's conflict. You're asking for a conflict before you even get
unless
into
it's
school.
Community policing or unarmed with a taser and a baton or something like that. Like that, and some I don't know.
But yeah, like what would the National Guard do?
Just regulate. It's just a babysitter almost.
Just be there.
Yeah, because one of y'all said it might need to be that Brockton School has to shut down and the kids have to be dispersed to other places if there's not enough adequate people to teach and or provide some type of structure for the kids. I would be scared too. Good morning. The city of Brockton and high school can't handle their jobs, then shut the school down and give the back. Exactly. Because it doesn't make any sense me sending my child to school to be in harm's way or to not
so
learn.
They shut the school down. That's Brockton's only high school. What they do after
They would have to. I mean, is it their only high school?
That's why it's the biggest. It's Brockton's only high school.
So where's the nearest towns? They'd have to go to nearest towns.
Abington, Easton, Taunton.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
What's that one that you went to? Whitman?
Well, first of all, second of all, why the hell is there only one high school in Brockton? They can't put no other high schools?
They should break this one.
I'm sure there's some private high schools or something like that.
Yeah. It shouldn't be the biggest one for the whole entire district. That's how things get messed up. There should be more.
Yeah.
And I know that Brockton want to be building houses everywhere, so build a school. Build a school.
Yeah.
But some charter schools, some little homeschooling, some pods. I don't know. One person injured after an Audi becomes wedged between two vehicles in Wellesley parking lot.
I saw an accident yesterday just in front of me.
Oh, and where?
I saw an accident as I was driving.
Tell me.
On Washington Street and what's that? Morton Street. Yep. Morton Street. So that's by the gas stations there. By the gas stations in Washington Street.
I know
Morrissey.
It's Morrissey.
Yeah.
So I was like, how we get Morris to Morton Street?
And,
okay.
One of the cars had he had the green light. That's where I was driving in. And then there was a car that ran the red light.
Yeah.
And they hit each other and both cars spun out. It was it was crazy.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
What did it sound like?
I didn't hear it. It was kind of far, and I had the radio on, but I saw the impact.
And did you say damn?
And
I've been wondering.
You be like, shit.
Yeah,
or you supposed to. Shit.
Yeah, like wow, like that. Was everybody okay?
I think everybody. I saw the drivers. I didn't see the main driver come out the car, but the other driver came out, and the passenger from the other car came out.
Ooh.
I think the other driver was probably a little.
I would be.
Yeah.
I would have fell out.
This next story, you're gonna have to pull up the picture so that people could see what I'm saying, because I don't know if they even understand. Authorities are investigating a wild wreck where a car became sandwiched between two others in a shopping center parking lot on Monday morning. Wellesley police responded to a motor vehicle crash at Roach Brothers in Linden Street. Arriving officers found a red Audi stuck precariously between a black BMW and a gray Chevy. How did it get that way too? The one person sustained minor injuries, according to officials. The cause of the crash remains under investigation.
Was the driver in the car when they got to it?
What? How?
I don't know.
It's the opposite direction. There's a tree behind it.
And the tree is not injured.
Oh, maybe it backed up. It had to back up?
No. I think it drove in, but just missed the tree because look at the grill of the BMW is on the ground. So it hit the BMW in the front. It drove up on the BMW.
Oh.
Obviously, right? Because look at the BMW was wrecked.
So
and then
it
tipped
come
over?
from?
I don't know.
That was crazy.
That is, that's drugs.
Authorities, 2 others.
This is, I'm trying to figure out how it happened.
They say no, 1 person sustained minor injuries.
Yeah.
It must have been the person driving, right?
Yes. Because those are the 2. But how did this big window get brashed over?
Because that's how it drove.
It drove.
It looks like it drove up on the BMW and then tipped over.
Oh.
Because where that window is crashed is where the tire was hit, and then it tipped over.
You used to work for insurance investigation.
Girl, I'm about to.
Forensic science.
The hell?
I watch CSI.
That's crazy. Y'all got to be careful when you out here driving. It's dangerous.
It sure is. Or just parked. Be careful where you parked.
So, black people, come gather around here. Everybody, come on over here. Turn this down so we can hear. Gather around. So, a group has called for Boston to pay $15 billion as reparations for slavery. The $15 billion would be split 3 ways, according to the Boston Police Reparations Commission's proposal, including direct cash payments and investments in new financial institutions. As Boston Task Force, we found out about this Boston Reparation Task Force a couple years ago, right? Was it a couple years or was it just last year? I don't know. Go for it. Yes, let's hear what. Ooh, my guy Malcolm too.
One second.
Okay, so a Boston task force studying how the city might enact reparations continues its work. A grassroots organization on Saturday called for a price tag of $15 billion. The Boston Police Reparations Commission held a news conference in Roxbury to announce their proposal. And we'll go right here to the clip.
Malcolm Johnson is live right now for us in Boston outside City Hall. And Malcolm, what can you tell us about this?
Well, Darren, here's what we know. This is a Black Boston grassroots organization that's demanding $15 billion in cash payments for reparations, all for setbacks related to slavery and centuries of institutional racism.
The wealth of this city was built on slavery. That's right. And the city is responsible to pay back the wealth that they extracted free of charge from other human beings who died at some point in the labor for this city.
Cash payouts in the form of direct deposits or checks in the mail. That's what the Boston People's Reparations Commission is demanding from the city of Boston.
We demand from Mayor Wu full monetary compensation for wages and lost lives through slavery and anti-Black institutional oppression.
Roxbury residents filed into the Dudley Cafe Saturday.
Today we call on a full and robust reparations process.
As Reverend Kevin Peterson and Black leaders demanded a $5 billion fund be set up for direct cash payments to Black Boston residents. Another $5 billion be invested to create new financial institutions, and a final $5 billion to address the Black and white education gap and support anti-crime measures.
Payment of $15 billion towards making right the wrongs perpetuated on Boston's Black.
Organizers making the point that the educational effects of slavery could be felt 100 years after being abolished.
If you were in the Black community and you send your child off to school, you had inferior buildings, not enough teachers. Sometimes you didn't have enough books.
This is an issue that so many are very passionate about. Mayor Wu has already established a reparations task force which will be researching the impacts of slavery on the city. The Reparations Commission that we heard from today, Darren, they want to work in tandem with the reparations task force as they continue to do their work. We're live tonight, reporting just outside of City Hall. I'm Malcolm Johnson NBC 10 Boston.
Did you see in the part where they said it's 15 billion that they want?
Billion
compared to the city's annual fiscal budget is 4.2 billion.
The whole
entire city.
Mm-hmm.
So how would they regulate this, and how would they push this out?
Where do they think? Where do they want the money to come from? From the city?
So the 15 billion would be split in 3 ways, according to the commission. 5 billion in direct payments to Black Boston residents, and who would those count as? A 5 billion investment in new financial institutions, and 5 billion to address the racial education gap, and for anti-crime measures.
Well, I mean, we got somebody we could ask about this nearby.
Oh yes, absolutely.
We should probably ask about that.
We will. We're gonna park that situation right here, and we'll bring that up in our next segment. Van destroyed, suspect arrested for attempting a bank robbery, and you guys should stop bank robbing in 2024 because of the fact that it is. I don't know if you guys wanted to get into that, but you guys got to stop doing that. They're gonna catch you. I ain't never know. I don't know too many bank robbers that get away.
I mean, only Inside Man. Remember that movie?
That was a good movie. There has been a suspicious death in New Hampshire being investigated as a murder-suicide. Another one of these. Autopsies on 2 adults who were discovered dead in their homes this past weekend showed they died from gunshot wounds in a possible murder-suicide. They were 47 and 41-year-old. They were found in their homes, and autopsies on the bodies were not completed by Monday. Were completed by Monday. One died of a single self-inflicted gunshot wound, and the other one died from that other person killing them.
So why y'all investigating it if we know that's what
I feel like
is?
that's all they got. They got to say that. Like this, like putting allegedly before something. I've got to say I'm investigating, so it doesn't seem like we already know what happened. Or maybe they're investigating the motive behind the murder-suicide.
Okay.
You know? And then a quick update from Newton, in case any of your kids go to Newton High. They do have school this week.
Yes.
Although it is school vacation week, they have school because they had vacation 2 weeks prior.
I wish we could have talked to a parent, like a Metco parent of a Newton student during this time, just to find out like how they're feeling and what
My kid ain't going to school this week.
Huh?
They said that if your kid does not end up going to school this week, that it won't count against them, but they will be introducing new materials and they will be proceeding with class as usual. So your kid would just be missing 3 weeks instead of 2 weeks.
Yeah. So if you were a Newton student, if you were a Newton parent, you wouldn't send your child to school this week.
You should have had their business together.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
It depends on what
I said if you were a Newton parent, would you send your child to school this week?
I absolutely would.
Oh, child,
it depends on what kind of student my child was.
Huh?
It depends on what kind of a student my child was.
I'm sending my child to school, period. Because it already missed, 11 days of school. And they're most likely I had to give up my vacation time those last 2 weeks, unless you were old enough. So you're definitely going to school. You're going to school. You had your vacation. I'm sorry it didn't happen the way that you wanted it to happen. But hello.
I mean, if they, like I said, if they was sending assignments, or they had assignments to do or some program to do while they was out of school them weeks, then maybe
they had their vacation already. Huh?
But nah, you got to go. You need your education hours.
Yep, you gotta get your time in. I think that is it that we have for today for our local news. When we come back, we'll talk some reparations some more, and we'll be sitting down with Segun from the Boston City. City.
The Boston City. The city of Boston.
Y'all know who he is. Stop it. Spark FM Online, #1 for urban and Caribbean music.
You're listening to Saucy and Friends in the morning with Miss Hot Sauce, Miss Tony, and Rockstone Triz.
What is this, Doctor?
This is.
Well, Spark of New England, Spark FM. Bringing the heat back to the airwaves. Turn us up. All right, let's take a look.
Did you get a call or message that mentioned Social Security that made you feel threatened or scared? That is not the Social Security Administration. Social Security will not threaten you, press you for personal information, or demand instant payment. Social Security does not accept payments by gift card, prepaid debit card, internet currency, or by mailing cash. Criminals use these forms of payment because they are hard to trace. Don't fall for it. Hang up, ignore them. Report this criminal activity to oig.ssa.gov.
Produced at U.S. Tax. Hello, I'm Marissa Jarrett Winoker. Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. 1 in every 4 Americans is infected with HPV. For many people, the virus hides inside them and they never develop symptoms. But for others, HPV links directly to cancer. My cancer almost ended my career. It almost ended me. The good news is, there are vaccines that can protect you or your children from cancer. The HPV vaccine is recommended for children 11 to 12 years old, and a catch-up vaccine may be an option for teens and young adults. Talk to your doctor. You don't want HPV hiding inside of you. Go to thinkaboutthelink.org to learn more. Together, we can stop cancer before it starts.
Spark FM.
I know you nasty. She be touching on her own body.
Igniting the airwaves. Spark FM.
Says she wanna take me away. Says she wanna take me away. Says she wanna show me the way.
Join us on Facebook and Instagram at sparkfmonline.com. Turn us up.
Daddy no learn. Take me loving and breathe.
Spark FM.
You're listening to Saucy and Friends in the morning with Miss Hot Sauce, Miss Tony, and Rockstone Triz.
Whoa, we step. What do we do when we in the morning show today? Saucy and Friends.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, yeah. Last when Mayor Wu was here, I told her that I'm an artist now. So she is going to propose something great for me. I'm putting these words right in her mouth.
Wow.
For me to be able to sing at first night.
She is like...
I just made this up
Girl,
just now.
no.
Let me put in the RFP to there too. Like, hey, tap me in for the first night singing because I'm there. My artiste. And here is my backup singer with us today, Segun Idowu.
Wow.
See the voice? Oh, yeah.
He's got that bass.
That's right. I got that Barry White.
See, we need that. Now I'm gonna have to start a band.
Oh wow!
Yes.
I can't take it.
Do you play any instruments?
Piano.
Do you?
I do.
This is perfect.
I believe this.
So now, oh man, you're gonna have to do keys and bass. And what are you gonna take up?
Tambourine.
Tambourine. Oh wow, that was quick, Tristan.
Harmonica.
Harmonica. I'm gonna get me as a banjo. Then we are. We've got a band. We've got a band. You heard it here first on Spark FM Online.
Find us at Grace by Nia next week.
I'm gonna send an email today. All right. Good morning, Boston. And welcome back, Segun. How are you today?
I'm just peachy.
Just peachy. Today we were talking about a story. We were like, hey, we don't know enough about this. Good thing we've got an expert in the building. Yeah. How do we get reparations?
Wow. First of all, nice to see you as
well.
well.
Oh, yes. Hello.
And Happy New Year. We haven't seen you yet here for the New Year.
Yes.
Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month.
Yeah.
Right.
And happy February. It is a leap year.
That's right.
And that means that and then there's 360 something
66.
days. Yes. In the days of the year.
Yes.
And what's our cut? How much do we get specifically? Me.
I've not been authorized to speak on this issue, so if I get fired, at least I know I have a backup job.
Yes, you do.
As a backup singer in your band.
Playing the keys.
And we pay a livable wage. Deep affordable. So we'll start with this just because we've been on it. Reparations, the Reparations Task Force has come back with a figure.
Well, no.
Well,
So
no.
there are, first of all, reparations is a very important topic.
Yes,
so
it is.
I'll start off by saying that, a year ago, we were all at the Museum of African American History launching the Reparations Task Force in the city. And I had shared with them that this is the most important topic that group will ever deal with in their lives.
Yeah.
Because after this group of very committed Bostonians comes out with their recommendations, which could include this particular recommendation that was just made by a separate group called the Boston People's Reparation Commission, led by Kevin Peterson. That will be, there is no revisiting reparations, right?
Yeah.
It's like, once you do it, then folks are just like, well, we did it.
Yes.
So if we get it wrong, then we got to live with it, right? So all that said, there is one group that the city has put together called the Reparations Task Force. There's a separate group of individuals, also committed Bostonians who are leading another community process called the Boston Reparations People's Commission, and they are the ones that made this announcement of a recommendation for $15 billion.
Okay.
So, I have my personal opinions. I love Kevin. I love Aziza. I love all the folks that are part of this group. I think that I have the same questions that you had, previous to my coming on this morning. But I don't think we should shy away from those questions. I think you're asking all the appropriate questions. How much, and then who gets it, and how does it get dispersed? And, one of the things that I appreciate that they did was that they split it up between direct cash payments and then programmatic, right? Because a lot of times when we talk about reparations, everyone just is in their head is that Dave Chappelle skit.
48.
We're gonna get a check and then go do what we get to do, right?
Yes.
And so I appreciate that they're being intentional, right, about what that money could be used for. But I think the purpose of the Reparations Task Force that Mayor Wu put together is to wrestle with those questions with community.
So these two groups working together?
I would say,
a way?
well, they are. Well, at the end of the day, anyone who's having this conversation out loud is working in tandem.
Okay.
And there are many members of the group that made the announcement earlier that are in conversation either directly or indirectly, who are members of the task force, and myself and other members of the administration. So either way, we're all pushing in the same direction. And the fact that they even made this recommendation is now forcing everyone to have this conversation out loud.
Absolutely.
What happens and who gets it, et cetera. And that's the whole point, I think.
So go ahead.
The mayor's task force, are they coming up with their own recommendation as well, or what is the mayor's task force?
So just to level set and remind folks, so there was a process 2 years ago led by Julia Mejia and Tanya Anderson and many others on the council to establish a task force, and that the mayor supported, and we advanced it in this way. And there were many community groups, of which Kevin and Aziza and others were a part of, that helped to make the task force in Boston possible. They were given several charges. One charge that they just completed was to put out the RFP, or the request for proposals, for a study to be done. Because, on the national level, when we talk about reparations, I mean, we know our history.
Yeah.
Right? We know we know about the South, we know about the North, et cetera, where chattel slavery was practiced. And here in Boston, though, it's a little bit different because we are not Mississippi, right? We are not, Georgia, South Carolina. We didn't have giant plantations all over the city. However, Boston did play a critical role. The ships that carried folks from the western shores of Africa to the islands to America were built here in Boston. A lot of the bankers and financiers of the slave trade lived here and operated here in Boston and grew their wealth. Financed the sugar plantations, on the island. So Boston played a significant role. So we want to have an understanding of the true role that Boston played. The thing that we added to it, though, was also understanding the role of all the other institutions in the city. So Boston by itself as an entity did not make slavery happen.
Yeah.
But there were other corporations that were around from the 1800s that definitely benefited and contributed. So we want to know that role too, which then will lead to the announcement that you just saw a couple days ago from this other group of like a figure, how they want it to be done. So the ultimate goal is, yes, it will lead to a study that will then inform with community process. So it's a group, but they're not going to sit in a room and just come up with all this by themselves. There's going to be a series of community meetings this year that hopefully we will get you all to help promote and to attend. And so, but the end of it will be a list of recommendations of what are reparations. What does it look like? Is it money? Is it something else? Is it programs? Who gets reparations, which is a really big topic, especially in Boston.
Yes.
Because the difference between Boston and Georgia and South Carolina and North Carolina is that when you say black,
we're a diverse
exactly.
community here.
So the diaspora is present here. And so now there's and this particular group actually, my understanding, and please, if Kevin or anyone are watching, correct me if I'm wrong, feel free to call in, is that they are very much on the African or American descendants of slaves, right? If you have a direct tie to formerly enslaved peoples, then you are the one that should benefit from reparations. However, in a city like Boston, where a very large percentage of the black population are foreign born or one or two generations back because folks immigrated here, as you all were saying before we came on, like y'all have have been impacted by systemic racism too.
Absolutely, right now.
Right now.
But not only that, I mean, we were slaves too. We just got dropped off in the island, and then they came.
But then our island would have to.
But still, we were still in there, and then we ended up here. So therefore, we are direct descendants.
But that is the conversation, and I'm happy the conversation is happening because I think for a long time in Boston we've not. I mean, it's like
we
being
kind of skirted around that issue.
But you have Haitians that live in one place, you have Jamaicans that are in one place, you got African Americans in one place who all kind of operate, especially previous generations, operate independent and kind of as opposed to looking at it as one community. And so it is an important conversation to have. So.
And then what is the timeline looking for that? Like, is it something that we will see in our generation?
Oh, so the mandate.
That's a great question.
Yeah. I mean, and the mandate of the mayor absolutely wants to make sure, like, if she's going to be mayor, then we need to answer this question rather than start this conversation and then leave it to 7 mayors later to to answer. And so I was saying earlier about the request for proposals. It went out. They have awarded that contract to several groups to produce a study that covers the history in Boston from 1619 to present day. And so from that is supposed to come out in about a year to give them time to actually do due diligence and make sure that they're going to primary and secondary resources rather than just getting books that exist. We want them to actually go and get from the original source content where possible. And then after that year, during that year, we're going to be having these community dialogues of engaging people on these questions that you all have asked. And then at the end result of that will be produced by this task force, the recommendations and implementation, we hope.
And then,
go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
And she also brought up a good point because we know that the budget for the city for the year was what did you say?
$4.5 billion or something like that.
Right. So where would this $15 billion come from?
Well, again, I think that's why it's important, first of all, that the figure was put out there. So again,
how does that? And before you even, does that figure sound? It sounds right. No, does it sound right?
Well,
I don't know if that even sounds. If it sounds right.
So I think it's
good or bad.
So I really do appreciate that here in Boston we're having a localized conversation on the role that the city itself and neighboring corporations played. However, when it comes to the issuance of reparations, I think that has to be part of a national conversation. Boston did not act alone.
Yes, absolutely.
And so to say that therefore the city of Boston as an entity owes X amount of dollars, it's really, for me personally, it's tough to divorce that from what the nation owes, right? Because it's not like we just came up with it by ourselves. Well, and I'm saying we, but the city of Boston, it was an American institution, and it was following the same orders that everyone else across the country was following, and so the nation itself has to grapple with this issue. Again, we can debate like the merits of a figure. I again have my personal feelings about the figure and how reparations should be implemented and who has access to it, et cetera. But at the end of the day, what's important is that we are wrestling with that history as a city and not running away from it. The hope is that it will spread across the country, and then we're having a national dialogue.
Yeah. It's funny because I was just looking up, I just did a quick search of reparations period, and things like California coming up introduces its first in-nation slavery reparations package. And then
didn't
other
go anywhere, though.
and
It didn't
no,
go
and
anywhere.
so and that's what I'm saying. Like they're talking about how telemarketing, race-based, eminent of domain. The packages marks a first in the nation effort to give restitution to Black Americans who have been harmed by centuries of racist policies. So I'm glad to know that the conversation is happening in a lot of other places: Colorado, New York, Massachusetts. It says Massachusetts commissioned the reparations task force.
That was Senator Liz Miranda that launched that effort.
14 measures introduced by the Legislative Black Caucus touch on education, civil rights, criminal justice, including revering a year-old effort to restrict solitary confinement that failed to make it out of the State House as recently as last year. So there's a lot of conversations about reparations that just doesn't fall on money itself. Yeah, it's a more so about like the effects.
Well, I mean,
Yes.
what Ayanna Pressley talks about all the time, right? I mean, policy is her love language, and because what matters is what happens. So you can cut the check, but if we still have a system where your house is devalued, where you're charged more interest on your loans, where all these things that exist that prey upon our community, that money is gone.
Yep.
And so it's really important that, and again, what I appreciate about this, the commission, is that which is separate from the city. I just have to keep reminding folks. But but they at least were thoughtful and here is a big number, but also it needs to be not just direct payments, but also spread out over programs. And we'll look forward to potential policies from the city's reparations task force coming up with ideas of how to change policy that ensure that whatever this generation is getting is going to last for future generations.
Which is very important because we do see a lot of innovative ideas and creative ways to start doing this coming out of the city with this new administration, things that we have not seen in a long time. We always talk about, contracts and things that are going out. How's that number going? How are we doing with contracts and stuff?
Well, I am happy to share that, in about a month or so or less, knock on wood, wherever the wood is.
It's all wood.
All good.
We'll be able to share public-facing dashboard that will, so that you won't have to ask me that all the time. You'll just be able to go on Boston.gov and look at, not only how many contracts are going to people of color, but also who's getting the contracts. And I can't think of, even at the state level, you cannot really, unless you request the information, that there's no platform that I'm aware of, at least, that you can go to go see who's getting, at least not a convoluted way of getting to that web page of who's getting the contract. So we're happy to at least be transparent in that way.
Because you do got to do some digging oftentimes, and that's something that people don't want to do, which I have noticed.
Well, on the city side, unless you send an email asking who got the contract, right now there is no way of even knowing, of you to find out. And so what we're happy about is that this is skipping a whole bunch of different steps and just getting straight to, you'll be able to log on and see, last year, here's all the contracts that got awarded for whatever department, for whatever the value was, et cetera. So you can see the information behind those numbers, that they're not made up.
Transparency.
Me too. Skipping a little bit, the legacy nominations have been extended.
Yes, they have.
Extended to when?
To this Friday.
To this Friday.
Oh, nice.
So we had Alicia come in, love her, and talk to us about the legacy program. So because it's an extended, want to just touch on that for 2 seconds. So it's been extended to Friday. If you know a business that is steeped in your community, that's been around for at least 10 years or more, because there's many businesses that have been around for more. I was driving by the little Haitian bakery today on River Street, and I was like, I wonder if they've been nominated.
They have. They got it last year.
They did? Okay, good. Because I was like, this is such a little hidden gem. I was going to stop there and get you guys some things, but I didn't feel to stop my vehicle. Yes. So, legacy program, if you guys want to nominate a business that's in your city that's been for a while, go ahead and nominate them. You still have until Friday, over 10 years, and that they have been a staple. They have been open, and we did find out some little some little things around it, even if it's a different location, but the same name, or they still operate the same way. You can do that. So a lot of your businesses might have rebranded or came back as something, but they're still there holding it down. Make sure you nominate them. And how has that been so far? Have you known a lot about the process, and how's that going?
I mean, we've gotten a lot of nominations so far. We are trying to exceed the number we had last year. So we had about 1,500 nominations last year for roughly 200 businesses. And so we're looking to exceed that number this year. I think we're getting close to it, but again, appreciate you sharing this information so we can exceed those goals. And, let me just remind folks, the purpose of the Legacy Business Program is twofold. One is to honor businesses that have been around for many, many, many years, but also it is to provide resources to these businesses. And the last time I was here talking about this, because I use the same example everywhere, that I wish this program existed when Frugal was around in Nubian Square. Frugal
too.
Yeah,
Notion.
I'm thinking about frugal furniture from a separate conversation before coming in here. Excuse me. But
Speaking of frugal,
Nubian Notion.
Yeah, we do need to talk to them.
Frugal Furniture,
yes.
Blue Hill Ave.
Yes.
I'm going there today.
Try to support. But, Nubian Notion, I mean, I wish this program existed, because with this program, if a business gets in there, comes money, grant dollars, comes technical assistance around succession planning, around acquisition of property. We're really doing what we can to make sure that if a business has been around for 20 years, that it's here for another 200. And it makes no sense to us to give someone an award to say you're a legacy business and then they're gone.
And don't say that. Thank you for all you do. Right. Goodbye.
Right. I heard something that said that the people that run the black market are getting control of that parcel that's next to them. So Black Market Nubian, run by Chris and Kai Grant, they are partners on the Nubian Ascends project, which is taking over the Blair lot. And so the developer there is Richard Taylor, longtime, former Secretary of Transportation for the state, black gentleman. Anyway, all that said, so they're partners on that project, which would create a new performing arts center, would create a life science hub for Roxbury. And then I know separately that they are I know they're leading an effort to try to buy their own building. For many years, they've been leading, or at least putting on an event in the area called Buy the Block. And so for them, they're looking to be an example of that, of this is what you can, kind of modeling what they want to see in the area. And I'm all the way there with them. I mean, I know the city, supports any effort to help folks acquire their property, especially in black communities. Because, a lot of us, we're leasing property, we're renting, but we don't own.
We don't own, and we got to own.
That's right, especially on the commercial side. There's a report from
talk about this.
From not McKinsey, but it was Andre Perry, who is at an institute that I'm now blanking on. But he just put out a report last year, though, that showed that across the country, black people own only 3% of commercial property here, where I think white were 7 or 8 or 9%. So, we love here in Boston to make sure that that everyone has the opportunity to own property. That's how you build wealth.
And that's also, so you guys
Brookings.
have two really great,
the Brookings Institute.
The Brookings.
Yeah.
I just found that too. Literally, the devaluation of assets in black neighborhoods. That sounds, I'm gonna read that. But these, I value what the city is doing, where you are, I wouldn't call it throwing money at people, but giving people, opportunity to embrace their business. This is not the last round of the legacy either. There's another one that would be coming out a little bit later.
So
another one this year.
Yeah, the Legacy Business Program is in perpetuity. So this is not a program where it's going to have like 2 or 3 rounds and then it's over. This is going on every single year. The one that is going to be ending is the space program, because it was funded by the federal government, $9 million. So we're fingers crossed, going to announce the awardees in the second round in the next couple of weeks, and then
next couple of weeks. It's been a long time.
Well, yeah,
a lot going on.
Yeah. But then we're anyway. So,
and then there's one more round of that coming out of that too. Yes,
that's right.
So there's a lot of things going on. I've been in touch with a lot of different business owners who have started to hear, shout out to Spark FM, about all the different things that the city has going on. And I'm really excited about it because there's more people I feel that are contacting and just finding out just from the TA services. There's people out here that don't even need money. They're just like, yo, help me find a good accountant. Help me, help me a good bookkeeper or some, business coaching or something like that. And it's important that the city of Boston continues to do that because it's helping a lot.
Well, it's important on the flip side that people utilize it because if things don't get utilized, then it gets tough for me at budget season to say, hey, I need X millions of dollars to do a thing, but every year I'm coming back and it's unspent money because people are not utilizing
this is always our problem.
Yep.
This is always our problem, black people.
We need.
Get y'all shite together. Get y'all shite together. Stop letting all the distractions distract you. Think about you, your community, your family.
I think people are scared. I feel like people be a little bit nervous, like I don't want to get rejected or something like that.
Mentality. That's why we need reparations.
I like how you put that together. I see what you did there.
But I think that, I'll just say, if you are an entrepreneur, if you're at least going to call yourself an entrepreneur, you got to take risk. And at the end, I can't think of any successful entrepreneur that has been on a podcast or has a YouTube video or written a book that has not said you have to embrace failure. You have to accept rejection, and that should be your motivation. And so, I will say that for city services, now when it comes to grants, yes, you should definitely walk in knowing that you may not get it. However, you should be in the. I think applying for grants is important and good, even if you don't get it. It's an important exercise because, you're forced to get all this information together that otherwise you're just kind of living out there that you haven't brought together. And when things pop up immediately, and you don't know, you need your taxes from 3 years ago, and you need the EIN number, you need an XYZ, then you're not going to be able to pounce on the opportunity.
And I'm glad that you said that because those questions in a lot of these grant applications be things that you probably never even thought that you would have to have for a business, or, oh, my business is too small, I don't have all that. No. Get it all together now. While your business is small, you ain't got a lot of responsibilities. Now is the time to start setting up your systems and everything like that. So at least when you do get bigger, you already have something going on. That's a mistake that I made. I figured this out quite a while later. I was like, well, damn. I need all that. Oh, okay. Maybe not this time around. But yeah.
You just have it all in one place and you just kind of throw it in there.
Anything exciting that we should be expecting? We are doing these little drop-ins with Segun once a quarter to make sure that you guys know you don't have to go looking for the information. It will come to you. Still look for it. Still look for it. If you don't, it's a quarter. So it's once every 3 months. So, make sure that you are looking. And then if you have questions and you know that he's going to be on, go ahead and just start getting those questions so that we can have them here. But we want to establish a point that you guys know that the city officials do come in here. They are ready to talk to you. They can answer your questions. And for most of them, for the most part, they're really honest. Very, very honest. Your team is very honest.
May work against us one day. We never know.
It's good. I was able to see you at the MIT Sloan thing.
I was so happy it was not recorded.
Yes. You might need a podcast of your own. We ended up listening to you, and I think people were really kind of tuned in because it was a business, it was a Black History business symposium for the most part. And a lot of Black businesses were there with questions and answers that you answered very, transparently and eloquently per usual. And I think it's important that we have somebody in the city that, could talk to us on a very normal level.
Yeah, well,
like,
we should talk about one. I don't know how much time we have. But
we do.
One of the topics that came up was the liquor license issue. And I do want to talk about this real quick.
Yes,
because,
please.
You know, the issue comes up and it's continuing to Boston does not care about particularly black business owners because black business owners don't have these licenses. But I think it's really important, and there was this long form article in the Globe about 2 weeks ago, and the front cover was a photo of Rufus Falk and his business partners with Lobster King, which really excited that business is opening in that location.
Got some good food.
And Rufus is great guy. So, but on the liquor license piece, it's important for people to know there are two different sets of licenses, okay? There is the 4-value license that is traded on the open market that right now the value is roughly $600,000. American U.S. dollars.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
$600,000.
Now, I was waiting. That was a great way for you to come in and say, and that's why we need reparations.
I was still shocked.
For what?
That's why we need reparations.
Be on point, Nessa.
Sorry, I missed it.
It's all right. I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna look over at you. And so those, hard to come by, right? They have to be on the market, or you have to know someone who wants to get rid of it. Then on the other side, there's the licenses that the city gives out, which have no value. Many of them are neighborhood specific, so they cannot leave the neighborhood and go. So I don't have a Mattapan license that then goes to the Seaport. Right? It has to stay in Mattapan.
Okay.
But sometimes they don't get used because some of us don't take the opportunity. So.
Wait, there's liquor licenses that don't get you?
No. Well, sometimes.
Oh,
if it's in a particular. I'm doing a little side tour here.
All right, let's go for it.
Where one of the things that I'm happy about for my team, we're working with the BPDA, the Boston Planning and Development Agency, on ways to think about planning in a different way. So there's the Squares and Streets initiative that's taking place right now, which fully supportive of, and I know many neighbors are supportive of, and there's some who have some questions and whatever, but very hopeful that moves forward. On the other side of planning, though, is I use Mattapan as an example. So there's an effort to, we want more liquor licenses, we want more restaurants. However, if you look at Mattapan, there is not really a space for a sit-down restaurant where, that of quality and whatever, that you would have a full liquor license to do whatever, right?
I am in Mattapan, boy, going down every street.
And so when people bemoan that, oh my God, there's no, well, it's like, because right now the space is not there, unless you have $1 million somewhere to gut renovate, a space in Mattapan Square,
like that one space there, that big
to be available. So. One of the things that we're working on is potentially the ability for during the planning process, we got Mattapan Square, of saying to a developer that wants to build something, hey, if you're going to build, this particular type of development, the ground floor needs to be X thousands of square feet and built out for a restaurant, which is you're taking now the onus off of a future restaurant owner to have to go find money to do whatever. So anyway, that being said, that's a thing that we're working on with the BPDA that we hope will come out. But again, so back to the liquor license piece, just to say there's an effort right now at the State House led by Chris Worrell on the House side and Senator Miranda on the Senate side to get several hundred more licenses in the Boston area. They will several hundred more over 5 years for specific neighborhoods. So the city would control them, and we would award them to folks in that neighborhood. And if the business goes out of business, it comes back to the city, and we can give it to someone else.
Reissue it. Okay.
Just to say that, this is not a thing that the city can do by itself. And so this is why, people just think that this is why policy matters, right? When we're talking about reparations, policy matters. Right now, it is within the control of the state, of the legislature, to make a decision for the city of Boston over how we control our licenses. So that means that there are 200 elected individuals, where 100 and maybe 50 of them, 140 of them, 160 or 70 of them do not live in Boston or represent Boston.
That's what I was.
Who are making a decision for the city.
So this is because I saw one quote from a man saying that he really just doesn't feel like that's a good idea, and he lives in Waverly or something like that, and I'd be all like, what hell do you know what's a good idea for us here when you don't come here?
Right. We were even talking about that place that's developing right next to the tire place near my where I live.
Yeah.
And that is being developed by people who are from
Somewhere else.
They were somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so it was like, here they come, able to get a liquor license and able to build that establishment, which has just been sitting there. I'm talking about the corner of Talbot Ave and Blue Hill Ave over there.
Yeah.
So, okay, very nice. Okay.
So I just say that it's really, voting really does matter.
Absolutely.
And engaging elected
I'm sorry,
officials.
say that one more time.
Voting really does matter.
Say it in your big
so
voice
does,
because
engaging elected officials. So even, if there are representatives in key areas, you may not live there, but you can still write to them, you can still call their office.
Mm-hmm.
Really important that we push. I will say on the liquor license piece, we are fortunate to have important supporters like Aaron Michaelowicz, who's the chair of Ways and Means, and other members of the legislature. The Boston delegation is in support. But, again, this is not an issue that the city, we have to essentially beg the legislature for permission to have more licenses to then award to folks here. So we are working on it, I guess.
And when you say we are working at it, what's the probability that it will actually go down?
We are very confident that that this effort will prove successful. I mean, Boston is first of all, we're the capital of the state.
Mm-hmm.
We are the economic driver of this state, and we're different from other municipalities. There's 351 cities and towns in the state. Boston's a little different. Like, other municipalities can have the opportunity to grow the number of licenses per their population.
Yeah.
It doesn't make much sense for Boston because we wouldn't have that many
if
we did that. However, we need more because there are just more
things.
Opportunities. There's more things going on, and we need to create a vibrancy in our neighborhoods that currently doesn't exist all the time. And it is going to help, folks like Corrine Reynolds, who's our director of nightlife economy, to wake the city up.
I haven't heard much about her lately.
TBD.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
Okay,
and
good,
we'll
because
hope
I know
for her
that
to
they
come here shortly.
We we've been working on that. We wanted to wait till she's been able to kind of establish herself in that role. She's always inside. She's outside all the time.
She's been in the role almost a year.
Yeah.
And I would venture to say, so if it's been 300 days, she's had roughly 250 meetings or so.
Crazy.
With thousands of people, and part of being outside is not just experiencing stuff, but talking to people and how did you get here? What are the things that you want to do? And if this weren't here, what would you do instead? So I mean, what she'll be rolling out in the next few weeks is going to be important for changing nightlife in the city.
I'm excited about it because we get so many complaints about Boston nightlife all the time, and I know that Boston got a lot going on.
It sure do.
We always got something to do here. I feel like a lot of people complain because they don't know, but that's not anybody's fault of their own. But there's a lot of things to do, and if we can regulate some of it, then we're good to go.
Yeah.
I don't want no more things to do.
I think though people are also gonna, because and again I'm sharing all my opinions here, and none of this is a reflection of the Wu administration, and these are all solely my own.
Love the disclaimer.
Gotta add that. But I think one of the reasons we also have a poor nightlife is that everybody wants really vibrant nightlife, but over there.
Yeah.
Not down the street from me.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think of New York, right? Where they're 24-hour city.
Yeah.
Everything's always happening, and you don't hear not nary one complaint about there's this noise going on because you understand you live in a city.
Yeah.
And so there is noise because there are 700,000 people in this city.
Exactly.
And I feel like a lot of what stymies the ability for places to stay open later, because if you did a review of all of the entertainment licenses or even liquor licenses, a lot of restaurants in the city actually do have the ability to stay open until 2-3 a.m. They just don't do it because the folks that live around there say, if you don't close at 10 o'clock, we're opposing you at your next meeting, and it will destroy the business. And so I think as more people are moving to the city with families, growing older here, we're going to have to start getting a little bit comfortable with living in a city.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
The fact that people want to go out, and that there's going to be noise, and if you don't like the noise in the center of your neighborhood, you probably should not live in the commercial center.
Yes.
Or near that, right?
Yeah.
You gotta live in the suburban part of the city. But that, in my opinion, is one of the big reasons why we don't see a big nightlife here.
I agree.
Is
I agree.
I agree
folks
too.
get upset.
I don't even and You just said nightlife and folks and communities. I forget what I was going to ask you, but I can remember later. Because I can't remember now. Okay, so this is good. This is good. We'll ease out here because we have downtown revitalization.
Oh, yes.
Quick, just update on that. How is that going?
Great.
Okay, good.
Well, I'll just say because there was a story last week about from this not really known group. It's called it's an institute. I can't remember the name of the institute, but new group that literally just got formed. And they worked with another group to put out a report that said that Boston's going to lose $1 billion or $1.5 billion over 5 years as a result of decreased commercial values. Yeah. And I'm just going to say that no. That folks really. So I'll just say, obviously, for every downtown in the country, every major city is thinking about what the impact of commercial properties and the drive down in value is going to do to their budget. So as a primer for folks, I think it's 75% of our revenue, of the city's revenue, so that $4.2 billion budget comes from property taxes, that's commercial and residential. And I think roughly 60% of those property taxes are from commercial property taxes. So that's why we're not paying. I mean, housing is expensive, but not as expensive as other cities because we lowered the levy. So all that said is there is a concern that, if we lose value in commercial real estate, what is the impact that's going to have on homeowners? What is the impact that will have on our budget? So we're very focused on that. At the same time, we are not losing $1 billion. So it was not poor math. But we don't look at these as, but you also don't see the administration, terrible, and losing our brains, because it provokes a really important conversation. That is the value of a lot of these things, right? Yes. And so how is downtown revitalization going? It's going in a positive direction. You talk to the downtown Boston bid or the business improvement district, you're seeing tourists and other numbers bounce right back up. Nice. Last November or October, they had hit pre-pandemic levels in terms of foot traffic in the area. Good. It's winter time, so of course it's down a little bit, but I think when we hit the spring, we're going to see way more folks in the area.
There's a lot of restaurants and a lot of different things coming up there.
A lot more programming, a lot more businesses opening up. I think 3 of our space grantees so far have opened up in downtown. And
shout out to Bolskin Babe.
That's right.
There's also going to be some housing down there as well.
And last year, the mayor and the BPDA launched an effort to convert some empty office buildings. There are around 8 properties right now that are taking advantage of it. We expect that as these get approved, and this would bring around 200 or so units to the area.
Wow.
But we know that once these projects are successful, others are going to look at that and say, I could do that too. And it's going to be a wave of folks that want to do that. So I think we're heading in a really, really good direction. I don't think there's any cause for oh my God, we're going to lose city services or taxes are going to go up. And again, I know I'm in the administration, and so anything I say is he's just shilling for government. But it's I really do appreciate the folks who are being the adults in the room. And I think we'll see in a few weeks or so, some strategies and efforts that the administration will launch to protect homeowners, but also to ensure that city services remain where they are right now.
I love it. I like to hear the updates because it does answer a lot of questions that we have. I know the next time you come, we'll probably have some more and do some quick updates on that as well. But again, as usual, thank you for giving us your time and coming to talk to us. And this audience really appreciates it. They've been all over the place today. I don't know. Some people want consumption, and Janet wants the community center.
And people were trying to call in too, but our phone lines, we apologize. Our phone lines are a little jacked right now.
That's why we got to go pay the bills now.
That's why we need reparations.
With that said, we'll end right there. Segun, thank you so much. We'll see you in a couple of months, and we'll talk to you then. Spark FM Online, #1 for urban and Caribbean music. We'll be right back. See y'all.
You're listening to Saucy and Friends in the morning with Miss Hot Sauce, Miss Tony, and Rockstone Triz.
You are enjoying the miracle of radio.
New England's #1 urban Caribbean music. Radio. Spark FM.
JP Morgan Chase is making a global commitment to break down barriers to drive inclusive economic growth all over the world. We believe there is a pressing need to help more people move up the economic ladder. That is why we are investing in communities and people to create an economy that works for all, because no community should be left behind. Right here in Boston, we're focusing that work in Dorchester, Roxbury, and Mattapan, among other neighborhoods, on improving financial health. These efforts aim to address the key drivers of the racial wealth divide head on. We're here to empower individuals, families, and small businesses by connecting them to the tools that build generational wealth and a long-lasting legacy. Chase is investing in Boston. Chase is investing in you. Visit us at the Mattapan branch at 1617 Blue Hill Avenue, where the team is waiting to help.
Finally Home is a must-read step-by-step guide that will equip any first-time homebuyer with the knowledge they need to confidently make informed decisions. This book provides answers in simple and clear terms to most, if not all, of the questions you may have about credit, home ownership, and generational wealth. Finally Home equips the reader with the confidence to be engaged with the home buying process without feeling vulnerable or exploited. Tailor-made Real Estate Easy is not just a catchy hashtag. It is real estate agent and radio personality Taylor Andre's goal. A goal to simplify one of the most challenging processes you will go through as an adult. A goal to educate you properly on credit and teach you the strategies to finding the home of your dream. It is not just a good book or an easy read. It is the secret to a seamless home buying experience.
Did you know that you can now get a standard Massachusetts driver's license regardless of your immigration status? To get help with your application, a list of all required documents, and nearby appointment scheduling, visit mass.gov/WFMA. Your license is your way forward, so why not get started today? Register now at mass.gov/WFMA or call 857-368-WFMA.
Hello, I'm Marissa Jarrett Winokur. Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. 1 in every 4 Americans is infected with HPV.
Spark FM.
Wizzy boy, make me dance. Daddy-o, make me dance.
Igniting the airwaves. Spark FM. Join us on Facebook and Instagram at sparkfmonline.com. Turn us up.
Tell me how you want it, yeah. Call me and I'm over it.
Spark FM.
Ooh, baby. Spark FM Online, #1 for urban and Caribbean music. We'll go into the national, world, and entertainment all in one stride.
One stroke.
Yeah, so while you go through, I'll start to...
Yeah. So at least 12 people are dead in northern Mexico's shootout near the Texas border.
What is that? I've been hearing about this. What is it?
El Paso? What's going on here? At least 12 people were killed in a shootout. With security forces in northern Mexico near the border with the United States, Mexican authorities said on Sunday night. Tamaulipas State Security Agency said in a statement published on X that the soldiers were on patrol in the municipality of Miguel Alemán along the Texas border when they were attacked by armed civilians. The agency did not respond to questions about whether any soldiers were killed or injured in the shootout. The state of Tamaulipas has various organized crime groups whose main activities include human smuggling and drug trafficking, authorities have said. That's wild. 12 people killed in a shootout.
That sounds like a movie.
Yeah, it does sound like a movie.
What happened?
Yeah, California is still getting these really, really bad rainstorms. So California County issues evacuation warnings ahead of latest strong storm. Santa Barbara County, California has issued evacuation warnings ahead of the latest storm set to slam the state this week. National Weather Service forecasters warned of possible flooding, strong winds, and potential tornadoes across parts of California. The severe weather could last through Wednesday, with forecasters warning of a moderate risk of excessive rainfall along the coast of Southern California on Monday. Santa Barbara County issued evacuation warnings for properties near waterways in the country, telling residents the warnings could be upgraded to evacuation orders if the storm is severe. Santa Barbara County.
How much are they supposed to be getting?
I don't know. Is under a moderate risk of excessive rainfall.
Jeez.
It doesn't say. The wind gusts of 55 miles per hour, they could get as much as 3 to 5 inches of rain, putting the area at risk for flooding and landslides.
This is so crazy because I know California is huge,
Yeah.
but some parts of California are literally on fire
Yes.
with a drought of many years and many days.
Yep.
And there's other parts of California that are under flood.
Yes. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yep, this says this storm is set to move out quicker than the last pair of storms, weakening by Tuesday. However, flood watches have been issued throughout Southern California through Wednesday. The Sacramento Valley is also under a sight of severe thunderstorms and may see an isolated tornado, according to the NWS. That's so crazy. Tony sure said it never rains in Southern California.
It must have not rained in the
never-
other
it
part.
didn't- They said it didn't used to. I just asked my friend that question.
Right.
I was like, you from California?
Right. What? Why they say that? Why they make a whole song about it?
It never rained, but it don't rain. It flood. That's why.
Well, I guess so. That's
and the
crazy.
reason why it floods is also I had to ask that reason is because the ground is clay.
Oh.
And it's not like, up here is like dirt. Like
So the clay absorbs the
clay doesn't.
Oh,
it's like,
it doesn't.
Imagine
like
like
quicksand.
It doesn't soak it in.
So it's lands.
It just slides, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. West Virginia House passes a bill allowing prosecution of librarians. The West Virginia House of Delegates debated the merits of removing protections for public librarians and school librarians from criminal prosecution in the off chance a minor encounters books and content some consider to be obscene. The House passed Bill 4654, removing bona fide schools, public libraries, and museums from the list of exemptions from criminal liability relating to distribution and display to a minor of obscene manner.
I wanted you to say that it wasn't librarians because I was like, maybe it's
Librarians?
like people from Liberia coming over here and they're committing whatever.
No.
But you saying the books,
Librarians.
you could kill the librarians.
You could prosecute them.
You could prosecute them.
Yes. So
That's
HB 64.
crazy to me.
Yeah. Bill allowing prosecution. I had to go back and read again. They're allowing the prosecution. So the bill would lift criminal liability exemptions from schools in the presentation of local or state approved curriculum and public libraries and museums displaying obscene manner to a minor when the child is not accompanied by a parent or guardian.
So what, don't say gay?
There's a book. If there's a book that is considered obscene and it's left out and a child encounters it, the librarian can be prosecuted.
Oh.
Is that what it's saying?
I think that's what you're saying.
Hold on.
Let's go to the clip.
Yeah. Is there a clip?
Where is
Somebody explain it. In West Virginia. Is there a clip? Because I don't. Somebody needs to explain it to me. 'Cause I don't know what
Closer
to
to becoming law. Our Chase Campbell has more.
On Friday, the West Virginia House of Delegates voted to pass House Bill 4654, removing bona fide schools, public libraries, and museums from the list of exemptions from criminal liability relating to distribution and display to minor of obscene matter. The bill would remove exceptions in state code that allow libraries, schools, and museums to avoid prosecution for the display of obscene matter to minors. Lead sponsor Delegate Brandon Steele said the bill is necessary to protect children from exposure to pornography or exploitation.
I'm here to protect children. I'm here to protect our young people and make sure that they are not put in a vulnerable position where they are presented with pure pornography in an effort to groom them and prepare them for potential sexual abuse or sexual assault.
Speaking in opposition to the bill, Delegate Evan Hansen said the fear of prosecution will prevent libraries from including potentially controversial books in their collections.
It's a de facto book ban. That's why I think it's accurate to call this a book ban bill. It doesn't explicitly ban books, but in order to mitigate the risk, librarians are going to make different decisions.
Under state code for
do they know that they're saying librarians?
Do librarians run the library like they're responsible for the books? What is a librarian's job? I thought they was just there to make sure that you check out and check back in. Because when they curate the books, what's happening?
I don't know if people know that if they talking about the little people that sit at the desk,
right,
and tell you which section is the sci-fi section. They is under.
And then where do you go to find books if not at the library?
Yeah,
I'm confused.
I'm puzzled.
Yeah,
exactly. Dirk Felix said, "Worry about their phones, not books."
That's what I was thinking.
Right.
You thinking about books?
Yeah.
And then prosecuting the librarian?
Yeah.
Wow.
You got to be a different kind of sicko.
This DeSantis and this
It
family.
is. It's trickling down to other smaller towns and things like that are allowing people to do foolishness, and I'm upset about it.
And here we have our resident historian Schneider that says years ago the Somerville Library had a small replica of Michelangelo David at its entranceway. And you know David is there with a little thing out. Mm-hmm. So they could arrest the librarian for that.
Yeah, they can.
Wow.
That's why I'm not going to sign up to be a librarian, because first of all, I like to talk too much.
Oh.
Yep. That's what I gotta say.
This is crazy. And speaking of racist, 2 Jackson homes explode, killing 1 and spurring federal investigation.
I was going to take that out, but I want to know how the homes is getting blowed up.
Well, and this is crazy because we heard about a story about this last week. A house in Philadelphia had gotten blown up that had something to do with some black people and some federal investigations, which reminded me of the MOVE movement in Philadelphia back in the day where they had blown up. It was like not a cult, but it was like a Black Panther-esque group, and they went and they bombed their houses, which was so funny because anyhow, Uncle Grandpa ended up sending me an article about that. Anyhow, back to this. Clara Barber, 82, died in her home on Bristol Boulevard in Jackson, Mississippi when it exploded on January 24th. 3 days later, on January 27th, that second house, this one vacant, exploded about a mile away. A federal agency is investigating the explosions to determine whether gas leaks or infrastructure failures may have played a role. The National Transportation Safety Board plans to release a preliminary report within the coming weeks. Why is...
it doesn't sound like it was set on fire. It was blown up. It seems like
it could be linked. It could be linked. We don't know. It could be systematic. We don't know. So we have to look at everything in order to determine what caused it and how to prevent it from happening again.
We'll follow this story to see if anything comes out of it. But keep in mind this story, so when we bring it back up, now we can start investigating properly, because I want to know what's up with the people's house burning down.
Yeah, that's weird. The widow and aides of assassinated Haitian President Jovenel Moise are indicted in... Didn't she get shot too? She was shot up.
That's what I was reading that. I said, what? Read it. I want to know.
A judge in Haiti responsible for investigating the July 2021 assassination of President Juvenal. How do you say the last name?
Moise.
Has indicated his widow, Martine, ex-Prime Minister Claude Joseph, and the former chief of Haiti's National Police, Leon Charles.
Do you guys see what is happening right here? The lady might have set up her own husband to be assassinated.
But she got shot up pretty bad,
in
though.
the head,
they had to fly her to Miami and all of that.
Yep.
The indictments are expected to further destabilize Haiti as it struggles with a surge in gang violence and recovers from a spate of violent protests demanding the resignation of current Prime Minister Ariel Henry. Dozens of suspects were indicted in the 122-page report issued by Walter Voltaire, who was the 5th judge to lead the investigation after previous ones stepped down for various reasons, including fear of being killed.
That's insane.
Charles, who was the police chief when the president was killed and now serves as Haiti's permanent representative to the Organization of the American States, faces the most serious charges: murder, attempted murder, possession, and illegal carrying of weapons, conspiracy against the internal security of the state, and criminal association. Meanwhile, Joseph and Martine Wase, who was injured in the attack, are accused of complicity and criminal association.
What does that mean?
Oh, wow. Meanwhile, Joseph, the former prime minister, shared a statement with the Associated Press accusing Henry of undermining the investigation and benefiting from the president's death. Henry is weaponizing the Haitian justice system, prosecuting political opponents like me. It's a class coup d'etat. They failed to kill me and Martine, and now they are using the Haitian justice system to advance their Machiavellian agenda.
In the report, the judge noted that the former Secretary General of the National Palace, Lionel Valbrun, told authorities that he received strong pressure from Martine Moïse to put the president's office at the disposal of Joseph because he needed it to organize a council of ministers. He said that 2 days before her husband was killed, Martine Moïse visited the National Palace and spent nearly 5 hours from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. removing a bunch of things.
Oh, he said that 2 days after the president was slain, Martine called to tell him that Jovenel didn't do anything for us. You have to open the office. The president told T. Claude to create a council of ministers. He will hold elections in 3 months so I can become president. Now we will have power. But wait, wasn't she shot in the head 2 days later?
In the head.
Oh, we've got to investigate that some more.
This gets on. Hello, people. This is reading like a modern
Scandal.
day. This is scandal.
Oh, she said that she took refuge under the marital bed to protect herself from the attackers, but he noted the authorities at the scene found that not even a giant rat whose size measures 35 to 45 centimeters could fit under the bed. The judge said the former First Lady's statements were so tainted with contradictions that they leave something to be desired and discredit her.
What?
Girl.
Why you do that?
What happened here? Why you do that? Why you kill your husband?
This is very, because, okay, so let's put in perspective. This could be all a setup that they're making us feel this visceral emotional reaction to, or this could be for real. So we are going to read the rest of the story on our own time.
Yes.
Y'all can read it on your own time. And then we're going to reconverge here and we're going to talk about this because this is insane.
That is scandalous.
Scandal to the left of us. And scandal to the right.
Former Rep George Santos sues Jimmy Kimmel for deceiving him into creating cameo videos. If you don't go shut down and shut up, I don't even want to get into that story because you are such a fake individual that I don't believe anything. And they should throw that out. Throw that out. Former Representative George Santos sued late-night host Jimmy Kimmel for deceiving him into creating cameo videos and then improperly broadcasting them on his show, according to court documents. Defendants openly admitted to deceiving the plaintiff under the guise of fandom, soliciting personalized videos only to then broadcast these on national television and across social media channels for commercial gain, actions that starkly violate the original agreement and constitute clear copyright infringement. You willingly did those cameos. Shut the hell up. 100%. Why are they allowing him to do anything?
Because America is a sick place.
America is a sick place. You want me to tell you how sick America is?
Tell us.
Disturbed sister slept with her brother's rotting corpse for 5 years in home of utter filth.
No.
That's our WTF story.
What do you mean
for
she
today.
slept with it?
She's in a case that has sent shockwaves through Australia. A woman lived with her brother's dead body for up to 5 years in a rat-infested house in one of Victoria's most affluent suburbs. Multiple complaints were made about the mentally unwell woman, a known hoarder who kept piles of rubbish in and around her commission unit.
With a dead body in there?
Her brother went missing a number of years ago, but when the woman was arrested on unrelated matters, his bloody skeleton was removed from the stinking home. As well as the skeleton, officers found floor-to-ceiling rubbish, rats, dead possums, and human feces. A spokesperson for the Victoria Police told the news that the police attended an address in Newtown, a welfare check on a male resident on December 28th, 2022. Officers attended the Russell Street property about 6 p.m. and located the male deceased inside. Forensic specialists and biohazard suits retrieved what was left of the man in December of 2022. So I don't know why this story just came out. The residents, anyhow, that's what happened. There was always a smell, but we just thought it was a pile of rubbish. The blinds were always down, and you could see the mold on the back of them. The carport was constantly filled with trash. There were rats everywhere. It was honestly, disgusting.
Certain people do the darnest things, and that's where we're gonna leave it at that because that's disgusting. I'm not gonna sleep with you. I'm just not gonna do it. And we're not gonna live in a rat-infested home with your dead body. It's not happening. I love you. Not that much.
There is a visceral effect that is happening to me right now. Like there's tears, my stomach hurts, and my throat is closing.
It's disgusting.
All of this is gross. That's national news. I'm done.
No, there's one more. So there's a lady that's been arrested because she has had her baby, her 5-year-old. Have you seen this on the internet?
Yes, I have.
And I'm pretty sure that a lot of you guys have seen this on the internet as well.
Yes.
The police... Go ahead.
The lady, so Memphis police DCS investigating photos of a child waxing nude woman at a salon. Yes, we've seen the pictures. Have you seen the pictures? The Memphis Police Department and the Department of Children's Services opened a joint investigation into photos of a child that are gaining attention on social media. MPD says their Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force is investigating the images which showed a child at a salon waxing a nude woman.
She was.
The post, she was all in there. The post also contained the caption, "She literally helped me wax 24 clients starting from 7:25 a.m. to 5 p.m. She made a total of $744, and I'm going to put the money toward whatever her future dreams and aspirations are."
Maybe put the money towards her being a kid.
Maybe put the money towards her therapies because of what you exposed her to on this one day from 7:25 to 5 p.m., this 5-year-old.
Lots of things are wrong with that. It's inappropriate. That's child labor. She's 5 years old.
Yeah.
She is dealing with grown woman vagina.
Yes.
And you thought that it would be a great idea somewhere after all of those things that I said.
Yes.
To post it on the effing internet for the entire world to see that you are slaving out your child in front of woman vagina.
Yeah, they said that there have been 86 complaints made so far. They're asking if you have the images or if you see the images, do not send them or forward them to law enforcement or anyone else. Do not download the images or upload them in any way. Any further complaints regarding the incident should be referred to the missing or unexploded children phone number. So do not share them. They could press charges against you if you share those pictures.
I'm confused.
What do you tell me what you're confused about,
Because
Tristan?
why do people continue to let the child?
Why did that's the question too, Triz? Why
Tristan want
would
to ask
you,
all the good questions early in the morning?
Why would you, as a person who is going to get yourself waxed, be like, yes, have your 5-year-old here?
Because it was 24 of those people. There's
24.
not one adult. There's not one adult. And it makes me upset because I am an adult who does get waxes.
Right.
I don't see a time where my wax lady will have her child in there and I'd be like, oh yeah, let her do it.
Yes.
I'm okay with her waxing me.
Listen, my child got to sit right outside the room with his iPad. You cannot come in here in the chance that I have to take him with me. But no. That's my child. But I can't see myself peeling open in front of somebody else's child.
Because it's a peel open that you have to do.
And I'm peel.
Everybody that got wax, everybody who is involved in the wax, shut it down. That's not a good business.
Yeah,
it's not viable if you have a 5-year-old working for you. And I'm upset that I have to read this on the news because y'all gotta do better.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta do better.
Yeah.
Like, she's 5.
Yeah.
Why is she down there?
Ooh, I don't know.
It's not teaching them a skill or nothing like that. What 5-year-old needs to learn the skill of waxing vagina?
Yeah.
Wild work we're living in here.
Yes.
Wild.
Yes. That's the nationals.
Entertainment is not doing so a lot.
Y'all hear any updates on Monique?
No.
Oh, no. Why?
No.
Are there
Anything?
updates?
Have you heard anything?
Monique.
She's still been going? Oh, her and her son been going at it.
Yes,
So her and her son been going at it.
Yes. Uh-huh.
She made a response. Where y'all think she did a response at?
In the bathroom.
I saw it. She
Bedroom.
did it at the comedy show.
At the comedy show.
At what comedy show?
She's had lots of comedy shows
she
going
on the
on.
comedy show, and she don't really got comedy. She just like to talk about.
She just likes to talk.
what she be doing.
So what is going on between her and her son?
So her son, she apparently her and her son didn't
have
really
a bad
have
relationship.
Don't have a relationship.
Oh.
And she said that Monique decided to become a mother when she met Daddy.
When she met Daddy, because Daddy raised her.
And
I can't take this Daddy.
And she said that Monique went on, she's on tour with Cat Williams, and she went online. I mean, she went on tour, and then the low part of the tour was her going at her son and saying something to the extent, but F that and Negro.
Sounds like her.
Yeah.
She sound like her role as a mother in Precious.
So, and that's so D.L. Hughley says, he said this years ago. He was like, Monique is turning into the real Precious, and so that's what everybody was saying. Everybody was like,
really?
Everybody was so on board with Monique a few weeks ago. And then just like that, she took it. But I think that's what she's good at. She's good at. She's good at leveraging herself, and then when you get on stage, you prove everybody wrong again. You're like, that's why we don't mess with you. If you would just come with the actual jokes instead of broadcasting what's actually going on in your life and downing everybody, then,
From Monique, it almost seems like negative attention is better than no attention. Yeah. And I wish that it wasn't so, because she can do... she has the ability to do things that aren't that, and that's just really too sad.
I don't even remember Funny Monique, like the Parker Monique. I don't remember her
It's
funny.
just always, her name has just been associated with controversy lately, and I really hate that for her.
Yeah, and again, I'm not really understanding in any aspect of anything why publicly embarrassing family is the wave. Like, this is a conversation that should have been happening with y'all family therapist when y'all set up a meeting and said, hey, I can't really talk to her. I'm wondering what makes people decide that they want to go online with their business instead of at least trying to handle it for the most part inside. And there's so many resources and stuff out there, especially for rich people, that can handle these things without anybody knowing. But we constantly feel the need to embarrass each other on social media because it does what? Right. It does what for us?
It's attention and exposure. That's a society that we're living in right now.
And that's what
close social
we're only
media.
into the second month of February.
Boy, I tell you.
Second month of January. That's exactly what it feels like.
The way black culture is viewed right now, we look so stupid.
Look at all the stuff that has come out.
Everybody is dragging down
far
each other
this year. Yeah.
Nobody's uplifting anybody. It's all controversy. Yeah. Everything that has been coming out is it's ridiculous.
So in Cat Williams' rant that he went on at the beginning of the year, he didn't say anything bad about Monique?
He didn't mention her, no.
No.
He didn't mention her at all?
No. He wouldn't mention Monique. They the truth tellers.
Go ahead.
Also, over the weekend, Benzino was on Drink Champs.
Oh, yes.
Crap. Talk about it.
So
Holy
Benzino, what?
Lord.
Boy, Benzino ended up getting drunk on Drink Champs, and he had a therapy session on Drink Champs where he bawled his eyes out and pleaded for the world to give him a break. So the most controversy over that is that people that know Benzino's story understand that yes, he was pivotal to hip hop, but also that he was not an innocent bystander, that all he did was do everything he possibly can. Benzino was very much in this for himself. That's a fact. We do know that. But everybody's like, we should not be making fun of Benzino and his neck because of the fact that, it's a black man giving out whatever. Benzino got drunk. It wasn't a therapeutic moment for him. Some people cry when they're drunk.
Yeah.
And some people get angry when they're drunk.
And
I don't know.
I was mad. I had this big long statement. I don't write too much. I had this big thing, and then I had press a button, and it all just disappeared. I don't know, undo. I had to Google how to undo. It just didn't work. But look, I am not a fan of Benzino. What I am is I was always inspired by his actions. I was always inspired. Being a Bostonian, being young, growing up in the business, I paid attention. I saw these things. I saw the Source growing up. I saw that stuff blossom into what it turned into.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the radio show. I remember the TV show. I remember all these things. So I appreciated it. But then Benzino's downfall is he needs extreme media training.
Yeah.
Dude, keep your opinions to yourself. That's what gets you. That's the main thing that gets you in trouble. Your opinions and stuff that you do on the street.
And he has no way to he has no decorum to at least be opinionated and still say it in a way that it's well received. It always comes off as very
narcissistic.
Victim.
I think the main thing his main objective is Eminem. Well, not the Eminem, but it's really that
What did he say about Eminem?
He feels like he's due more respect in the industry. Is that what it is?
No, I don't think it's that. I think that Benzino is he's from Boston. Really, that's what it is.
Yeah.
He's traumatized from the racism stuff that's happened here, and he knows that from in Boston you have to fight so hard to get, and that's what it is. The fact of the matter is the Source magazine would have never been validated if it wasn't for Benzino. The reason why it was validated is because you had somebody from the streets, in the streets, behind it. Dave Mays he was the businessman, but when it came down to it, Benzino was a part of the culture. And that's what I think his main downfall is. He's not able to, if he was able to phrase his words correctly and try to figure out what his thoughts are, actually what he really wants to say, people would understand him. But when he speaks,
he's impulsive.
He just sounds impulsive and just sounds so, It was
Poor Benzino.
And then Nori let him go. Nori knew what was gonna happen.
But
I didn't like
Nori
it.
sets it up.
But that's what you always say that about Nori and Drink Champs, though. He just kind of let people.
Yeah. And I feel like that's the direction that Shannon Sharp is going down too. Yeah. I'm just going to bring you here and let you say it all. I'm going to do as little as possible. I get it. As a platform, as a podcast, you are looking for those viral moments and those viral interviews where people just say whatever and you can capitalize on it. I think that some people are a little bit unstable and you should kind of, reel them back a little bit to try to preserve, what little sanctity or things. Benzino needs to be protected.
To even help them out. Don't let everybody go off the rails like that.
Have some organization going on.
Right.
There's a point Benzino's about to go to the bathroom and he's unzipping his pants in front of the camera. Hey, bro.
Cut the clip. He was drunk. He was drunk on Gym Champs.
Unhinged.
He was early in the conversation when he was sober. He was like, they asked him a question about Eminem or Redman or Eminem or Nas. He was like, F Eminem,
and then later he's
6
crying.
drinks later, I love Eminem.
I'll sit down with him and we can do a record.
I would hug him.
Oh, that's awful. I'm going to go watch that.
And then last but not least, Bob Marley, One Love, embraces $80 million global bowl. Hey. Madame Webster musters $52 million with international blockbuster. I was able to go see the movie this weekend. And it was a decent movie. It was good.
I'm hearing so many weird mixed reviews about the movie.
I didn't think it was the best. I really didn't see the actual point in another Bob Marley movie that wasn't going to depict anything different than his life. And I did fall asleep quite a few times.
Bob Marley movie
I've
supposed
heard
to be like
several
Malcolm
people
X.
say that they fell asleep during the movie.
See, this is it.
Bob Marley movie supposed to be big
This
like
is
Malcolm X.
say that like all Tina Turner, like you get a full depiction of his life, both good and bad aspects of it, and I felt that we got another, commercialized Bob Marley,
like the Whitney Houston movie last year.
Yeah, Bob Marley, One Love. It is a good movie. I won't say it's a bad movie. I will say that I would have rather wait till it came out on Netflix and talked about it in a few weeks.
Really?
I don't think that it was. I did fall asleep a couple of times because it was just, if you know the story of Bob Marley and you've ever seen any of his other movies, it's nothing different than any of those other things. It's a produced and executively laid and cinematographed, whatever. But it is very all over the place, and I did find it to be rather,
that's unfortunate.
boring.
I've been hearing a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow we can give the people an update on Cartel.
Yes, because the Vibes Cartel trial has been, probation trial has been going on. From what I've heard, it seems like it's going okay.
It might be a retrial. It's looking like it may either be thrown out or it may be a retrial. But
oh boy,
more so on the side of retrial, but hopefully it's thrown out.
Luanda said it's supposed to be a love story. Yeah, it is. It more is supposed. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
So go see it. I don't want to discourage anybody to see it.
One thing though, his Ziggy Marley was very, very involved in creating this movie, right? Okay, so that's what I want to know because I've heard that
Tough Gong in general, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And again, I won't say it's a bad movie. I can't possibly say that, but at the same time, I won't say it's like, oh my God, go see it. It's the best. It's just like, oh, okay. Netflix it is,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it would have done better on a Netflix produced blockbuster or something like that. Like how they have all those other movies and you showcase and you feature that when you do the sponsored whatever.
Yeah.
I think the amount of people streaming the movie out of streaming would have exploded the scene. But I guess, it's good that Bob Marley is on the big screen.
Yeah.
It's, introducing.
I don't know who did this. I would have put this out on 420. Everybody would have been inside the movie theater burning it down.
Because he was burning it down throughout the whole movie and made me wanted to leave and burn it down too. But that's probably the problem. I was low. I had a glass of wine and a little something. Don't take your break pen. You go. With that said, people, Bobby Steels is up next here on Spark FM Online from 11 to 1. Make sure you keep it locked right here. Spark FM Online.
Bye.
You're listening to Saucy and Friends in the morning with Miss Hot Sauce, Miss Tony, and Rockstone Triz.
Let's start with the big question.
How are you? The all-new Spark FM.
JP Morgan Chase is making a global commitment to